Hi everyone, my name is Max Maker and I've got a whole bunch of these parts that I would like to tumble to get rid of these sharp corners. I'm not sure if this will work out or not, but I bought a huge barrel over there. I've got some wheels to rest them on. I've got like a big drive shaft, and this is a 24-volt motor that I once bought for an electric bicycle and I never got around building. And there are basically two types of tumble vibrators. Some vibrate like this and some tumble, so they go like this direction. And that's the one I'm going to build. So what I'm going to do is take these wheels, then have this barrel rest on top of them so it can rotate. And I will attach this motor to this drive shaft. So when this turns, this one will friction drive this big barrel. That's my only concern, is that this might not have enough friction, in which case I might need to add some teeth to this and to this. But that's for later. First of all, I think I'm just going to fit these on. Want this to be as low as possible so it's the most stable. So I need some brackets to hold the drive shaft up. This is an M12 and this is an M10 bearing, or 10mm bearing that I have. So I might as well machine this side down now, so at least one side is in the bearing. The other side, I don't know yet what I'm going to do with this. This is my tiny lathe. Okay, there's a little flap here. I held this closed with these magnets. Bar goes in and the flap is held on with the magnets again. This side sticking out right here can be dangerous, so I'm gonna put something there to hold it up. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's got a nice ring, doesn't it? So I made this little block that just has the same height as the motor. And on one side there's a recess for the bearing. And of course this bearing is 30mm and I only have Forstner bits to 32, so I need to shim them with some plastic or whatever I find. And this can pass through and then mount to the motor. Not bad. So now let's see if this works. This end goes in here, other bearing in here. Can go through, and here I've got enough space to attach the motor to. Somehow like this. Just not sure if this will have enough torque to turn this when this is full of gravel. Put this piece of wood underneath here so we don't bottom out. Yeah, I think that's good. Now I can mark these positions. Perfect. But before I want to mount these, I want to round over these edges. And to start that, I cut off the corners on the bandsaw. I know they're not pretty, but it's just for YouTube, isn't it? Wonder what I could use for friction on this. This, I don't know, it feels rather smooth. Now, before I mount this side, I need to slip over here whatever is going to provide friction to this drum. Got this hose, but this is really smooth. Don't think this is enough. Need some really soft rubber. I'll have a look upstairs what I can find. Okay, I found this heat shrink tubing, which has the right size. Yeah, feels really slippery. And I found this rubber for making slingshots. That looks promising. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Perfect length too. Pretty pleased. Now I know you can do something like this with just a garden hose, but I never had any luck because this garden hose is really stiff and it slips and all of that, but then we don't need a lot of force to turn it anyway. So I guess I fill this up with some gravel now and I see how heavy it is to turn. Got a bunch of different types here, round and bigger, really tiny. But I think I go with this. This is granite and has the right size, I think, and granite is really hard and abrasive, so I'm gonna pick that. Crap, that stuff is super heavy. That could be enough. I read online that they perform best when they're halfway filled. When it comes to these wheels, I found a trick over the years, and that is oiling them. Listen to this one, that is not oiled, and this one that is oiled. Now let me oil this one. And I'm using sewing machine oil. That's the best oil I ever had. It works for any kind of applications basically. You can use it on your bike, on stuff like this, on all kinds of machinery, on your CNC. It costs like $2 this bottle. It never gets hard, it never becomes sticky or anything like that. It doesn't contain any acid, so it's just perfect stuff. And listen to this. Turned briefly, but it starts slipping here. So let me add some hose clamp to that. And of course the thread on the motor itself is left-handed, and I didn't have a nut for that, so I had no other option but to use the hose clamp and the hose method. Let's try the car battery. Oh, this always makes me nervous. That works. But the rubber here is already cut. This won't last very long, and the whole thing moved in this direction, so I need to add a bearing here at the back as well. Okay, to stop this moving down, I could add this wheel with this block. No bueno. No bueno at all. Got this wheel from an old prototype, and this perfectly fits the brim here. I think a soft start would be nice to slowly get this up to speed, and something with more friction here and more durable as well. Just as a test, let's put this part in here. One part I put on the workbench and one inside. These edges have been covered with zinc spray. So these are steel parts, and they've just been in there for 5 minutes, but I can already see that the edges are a little bit worn off on the left side versus on the right side. And I think if I leave this in a few hours, these will have really nice and rounded edges. But the rubber here is not in a good state. Yeah, it just chewed through the rubber. Instead of only having the friction here and here, I will use this space in between, put some silicone tubing over this. I think at this moment it's a good time to cut off what we don't need, so let's make a cut here. This is a motor controller. It goes from 10 to 60 volts, and it has this big dial that I can use to smoothly accelerate the whole thing so I don't have any slippage. And the nice thing, it has a housing just like this power supply, and this gives me 24 volts and I think up to 250 watts or something like that. So it's good enough, and it's a nice little package, so these should work really well. Now I'm connecting the main power with these 3 cables. The earth is really important, and you can find all these parts in the video description. So now we need to connect the wire, 2 wires from here to here, plus and minus to plus and minus in. And to insulate these wires, I use these crimps, and they are the best tool for this job. They're so easy, they work with all kinds of thicknesses. You can cut wires down here and crimp stuff down here, really versatile and really cheap as well. I tried the premium brands from German manufacturers, and they're not as good as this cheap stuff from China. Now there's just one problem, and that is that these terminals are open for touching. I would really have to try to catch live and neutral at the same time, but I want some kind of cover for this. I think I just take a piece of sheet metal. Yeah, this is my latest edition. Put this in somewhere like here. I'll just freehand this. Good enough. Pull this up. Oh, yeah. 90 degrees. Flip it over. Put it up to the mark. Beautiful. Let's try this. Nice, it slowly accelerates. Here I'm checking how much current this draws with this amp meter, and this is a clamp amp meter, so you don't need to connect any cables, you just clamp it around. And 5 amps at 24 volts is about 120 watts, so that's not a lot. The silicone tubing was a little bit bigger than expected, so I added some silicone on the inside to add more thickness. And if you find yourself enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel and also support me on Patreon. I just cut some parts on the CNC that have sharp corners and they need rounding over, so let's test the machine. I think it's ready. And I thought this would be a cool shot, but the idea wasn't very good. So overall, the machine now runs really reliable and quite well. There are a little bit of vibrations, but I think that adds to the process anyway. And this is the parts after 3 hours. I could have left them in longer, but the edges are already nice and smooth and the surface texture is quite even. And on this part you can see that just after 10 minutes the right side that wasn't covered by tape is visibly narrower if you look at it from the side. And if I leave this in much longer, it will actually become a rounded edge. I think the tumbler will save me a lot of time in the future when I have to finish a lot of parts at the same time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope I inspired you to make something yourself today. My name is Max Maker and I make all kinds of stuff.